Hey everyone, and welcome back to Smack My Deck. Whenever I get a new device, the first game I check on it is Monster Hunter World because I absolutely love this game. So we're going to start by running this at 15 watts, running it on battery. We're going to start it on 1280 by 720 because honestly 1080p just isn't worth it on battery. So we're going to run this at 720p. We're going to put the preset as high. I haven't changed anything else. I've gone for the vanilla high preset. Let's go into game and see what kind of performance we get. Every single test we're going to do is going to be on the Ancient Forest, and the reason I picked the Ancient Forest is because if you're a Monster Hunter player, you know this is the stage that kills the frame rate. So I can go to an arena and show you a high frame rate, but I want to give it the level that causes the most drops in frame rate. So here we are, 720p on high settings, and guys, look, it's looking good. We're kind of hitting mid 50s. Yeah, that's what we're hitting. We're hitting mid 50s. So this is running on battery on the 15-watt profile. And guys, like overall, like I am impressed with this. Like on the Steam Deck, I enjoyed playing Monster Hunter, and it's a great experience on the Steam Deck. Like, don't, you know, I would not put the Steam Deck down. I just like this because I needed a Windows device, primarily for making content for my other channel, because Linux is just too difficult and I needed a 1080p screen. So the ASUS ROG has some stuff, but one thing I have to say straight away, Monster Hunter plays better. I enjoyed playing it on the Steam Deck locked at 40 FPS, but over here we're playing it at 720p and high settings, and guys, the frame rate we are getting, it's close to 60. Before we move on to the next preset, which is we're going to work our way down. So we're going to go 720p. We're on higher now. We're going to go medium, and then we are going to go the lowest setting. But as you can see over here, where I've encountered the monster, I've gone deeper into the Ancient Forest. I've got the temporal mantle on, so there's fireworks and explosions. The frame rate does go down quite a bit more. So there you go. We've kind of got it down to around the 40, even 38 there. So I've not seen it dip below 30. So if you're a 30 FPS kind of guy and you're happy with 30 FPS, you can easily lock it, because the ASUS ROG Ally has some good built-in kind of features where you can limit the frame rate by pressing the button on the left hand side, not the top button but the bottom button under the back button. Is it? I can't remember exactly what it's called, but nonetheless it's still playable. But let's drop it down because it'll be nice to see if we can get a consistent 60. Okay, so for the next part, going back into the display settings, that all I'm going to do is everything's the same. It's 1280 by 700. I haven't played with any of the settings. I've just gone for the graphics settings at mid. Now, have a look at this and set this as your kind of base rate. Yeah, so keep this as your base rate, you know, adjust settings in there. You can go into graphical settings and you can play with individual settings. I'm just trying to give you an overall idea here of what kind of can be achieved. Now I have to say the SSD loads Monster Hunter World fairly fast, as much as it does on my desktop. I guess the SD is working the way an SD should. Now over here, when we enter the Ancient Forest on medium settings, the settings are a little bit better, but not much better. There's not much difference between medium and higher, at least from what I could tell on the frame rate. But this is impressive for running something on a battery. Guys, I started playing Monster Hunter World on a handheld when I got the GPD Win 2. Guys, I started playing Lance in there because I could only get 30 FPS in arenas, and sometimes when out in the open it would dip down to 15 FPS. But I like Monster Hunter as a handheld because I learned to play the game. I played it on the PSP, but I really got into it on the 3DS when I played Monster Hunter for You. But over here, this is kind of looking okay. Let's get into a little bit of action and see exactly where the frame rate goes. Okay, so 720p medium. This is actually quite a good way to play. You could just limit the FPS to kind of 45 if that's what you're happy with. You know, if you want to go for 60, then we'll have a look at the next setting. But here I am taking on a Puke, and I would say the average frame rate during all the action and with everything going on is 45 FPS. And you've got options within Armory Crate, the software built into the ASUS ROG, where you can just limit the frame rate to 45 and just have a fluid experience. So it's not going to try and do more than 45. You just limit it there. Here you go. You can see it dipping a little bit, but slightly under. It's not like the Steam Deck where you can limit to 40. The limits you can do here are like 30, 45 and 60, and I guess higher ones if you're gonna play something, because the screen is 120 hertz. I wouldn't even bother trying Monster Hunter at 120 hertz, but maybe I will try some indie games like maybe Dead Cells or Horizon Chase Turbo. Let me know if there's any other games you want to see. I don't do too many videos on this channel, but I'm a big Monster Hunter fan, and whenever a new handheld comes out and I get it, it is the first game I put on there and try, even though I'm not actively playing this game. But that's enough of this. Now let's have a look at it on 720p and low. Okay, so here we are. We are going to go, again, not going to touch anything else, just the graphic settings, the presets. We're going to go to low, and yeah, everything else you're seeing there is exactly the same. So first we saw it on high, medium. It's not worth going for highest because it gives you a warning there and then saying the VRAM is not enough. If you try and run it, it will crash. Okay, so again, we're here in the Ancient Forest. Now, for some reason, whenever the level starts, it starts off with like a lower frame rate, but then within a few seconds it hits 60, and at least while I was playing it, I guess when I'm doing a voiceover now, I can see if it dips below, but while I was playing it, I didn't see it dip below 58. It was like 58, 59, 60. Let's see how that goes. So this is looking good. Now, if you're going to play this on battery, I would recommend, if you're a 60 FPS person, then this is what I think you should use. Have this, obviously the silent one, forget about it. Don't use that profile for this game. But the highest you can use there, which is the 15 watts profile, once you put it on that, honestly, you're good. Like, you're playing 60 watts. I think I've done a whole quest and fought a large monster. But yeah, it is just solid locked 60, and honestly it just feels so good. I'm still amazed at how far we've come. We're playing Monster Hunter World on a handheld. I know the game's been out a few years, but I love this game. I really can't wait for Monster Hunter World 2. I personally feel that Monster Hunter Rise is a step down. I've tried getting into it again and again. I just can't. And we're still on 720p low, and here I am. I'm about to fight a Jagras. The Jagras, which is like, every Monster Hunter game has like a joke, like a stupid, like a weak enemy in there, and the Jagras is definitely the one for Monster Hunter World. Here I'm fighting it. Again, I think I saw it dip down there to 58. It's hard to keep my eye on that and the action, but guys, the low preset on battery 15 watts, it just does it. Actually, I was having fun when I was doing it. I'm a little bit out of practice in Monster Hunter as far as like the rhythm of the attacks and everything go, but you know what, Monster Hunter is like riding a bike. Once you play it, you know it, and you never give up Monster Hunter. You know, even if you stop playing it, you always come back to Monster Hunter. And guys, the ROG is a great place to play Monster Hunter. So my recommendation out of the on battery is definitely 720p, and at the presets low, and you have a pretty much a consistent 60 FPS. And I'm running this on Ancient Forest, which as far as I can remember was definitely the one that killed frames in this game. The other levels should have better performance than this, because yeah, I did really always want to put it to the test with the Ancient Forest. But now let's go ahead, and for our next load of checks, what we're going to do is we are going to plug it into the mains, and we're going to give it all the power at once. So we're going to start high and kind of go low, and you can make your own mind up. Let me know in the comments below what kind of preset you prefer, or are you tweaking any other options? List them in the comments below so it can help other people out there if they really want to fine tune this. Okay, so for our next one, I've set it to 1080p. I had to kind of restart the game because you have to, but I restarted it and I'm back 1920 by 1080 and on high. Again, you can't go on highest, it just gives you a warning. As you can see, I'm using the turbo profile once you're plugged in, which gives you, I thought it gave you 25 watts. I think it gives you 30 watts. So we're running at double the wattage here on this profile. Obviously, the total system power is going to be higher. We can see it there. It's fluctuating between 40 and 45 watts. Okay, so we are running on power here. As you can see, the temperatures are quite high. The machine is heating up to 95 degrees Celsius, but honestly, you do not feel that on the hands. Like, I am not uncomfortable. I'm not feeling any, or if I'm feeling any heat, it's a hot day here in the UK anyway when I'm filming this today, but I'm not uncomfortable with any of the heat. It is decent enough. And all I'm going to do in this is I'm going to kind of run through, I can't remember what those little enemies are called, and we're just going to have a look at the frame rate there. But as we can see on 1080p, even running it on mains on a higher power profile, yeah, we're getting, you know, if you want to play this at 30 FPS, I know some people like gaming at 30 FPS. I don't like gaming at 30 FPS unless I have no option. I generally try and play games at 60 FPS. The Steam Deck, in fact, got me used to, and the trade-off on the Steam Deck playing stuff at 40 FPS, I thought was fantastic. There's a lot of games that I played, and I don't know what it is. It's like, so 40 FPS from 30 FPS is a 33% improvement. But honestly, the experience just feels so much better. That 33% extra frames just feels so much better. But here we are, we're kind of rocking it. Hopefully you can see the frame rate. We've got a kind of lightish background, so it might be difficult to see. I'm having difficulty seeing it now. I can see the watts, but not the frames. But here we go. It's kind of like goes, we're even hitting 45. So yeah, if you want to play it like this, you can maybe lock it at 45, lock it at 30, but you can play it on 1080p higher. Another thing that I have to point out was on previous handhelds that I've had, whether it was the GPD Win 2, the GPD Win Max, the GPD Win Max 2021, the game would randomly crash. It would have some kind of GPU issue and the game would crash. I've tested this and I've played it quite a bit and I've not had a single crash on the ROG Ally. Okay, so let's drop it down one. Again, just going to go to display settings. Everything's the same. We're still running at 1920 by 1080, and I'm just going to put it down to medium. The frame rate, as it has been through all of it, has been at 60. VSync has been left on. Let's see what kind of result we get now. Okay, here we are back in the Ancient Forest again, running on mains on the highest profile we can with boost, giving it 30 watts. And we're running at medium now, and honestly I never see too much of a difference. The difference is insignificant between high and medium. Low is where the extra frames really do kick in. But here we go. We're going to race down to that part again and just fight the same enemies. And honestly, the frame rate from what I remember kind of remains the same, but I'll get there in a second, and I guess we'll see. But Monster Hunter, if you've not played this, like I always whenever I do performance tests, I like doing it on Monster Hunter to start off with. This is just such a fantastic game. Between the PlayStation and the PC, I'm embarrassed to say the number of hours I've put in there. I played it on the PlayStation, but PC version was just better, so I moved on to the PC, but I did actually do everything, including Iceborne on the PlayStation. But again, a bad place here to have a look at the frame rate. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of a dark thing on there and we can see some of it. Here you go. So it's kind of around the same, isn't it? Do you remember on high we were kind of like mid 40ish? Yeah, we might get a couple of frame extra here and there, but honestly there's not that much of a difference. Now let's have a look at 1080p in low. Okay, once again, display settings, just going to put the medium down to low, and that is it. Let's go over to Ancient Forest and see what is dandy. Back once again, the Ancient Forest. I bet you're getting fed up of this level, but this level looks really good. And again, the reason that I use it, there's a lot of, I don't know how you say the word foliage, but a lot of plants. There's a lot of plants and trees and things around, and that's again why this, even on some graphics cards, like I've seen the frame rates dip on this particular stage or this particular map. But let's run down there again. Now if you're noticing here, we're playing this at 1080p and we're on low settings 1080p, and we're kind of hitting 60. So let's see if it takes a dip. Hopefully, if we can. Sorry, while I was filming it, obviously it was difficult to see the frame rate and doing it, but now that I'm doing the voiceover, yeah, I don't know if you can kind of have a different color for your writing so you can see it better, because I kind of chose the wrong area to do it, and I apologize for that. But we can see it when we kind of get around, and hopefully you guys can as well, because I'm colorblind. Maybe I'm missing some of the colors, but that is just locked at 60. So if you're playing it on mains and you want 60 FPS, you've got one option, which is 1080p, low settings, low preset, locked at 60, and you'll get that 60 FPS experience. Now we're going to have a look at one more preset, and that's going to be our last one, and that's what I recommend. Do let me know your thoughts below, whether you prefer 1080p on low, or the next one we're going to have a look at is going to be 720p but on the high settings. So you let me know what you think looks better, but let's go and have a look at that now. Okay, so the final one we're going to have a look at, as discussed, is going to be highest or higher settings. Highest it can't do because of lack of VRAM, but higher 1280 by 720. Okay, back for a final time in the Ancient Forest. So this is 720p, but on high settings while plugged into mains. And guys, this for me pretty much was a locked 60. I've just seen it go down to 57 there. But honestly, while I was playing it, it wasn't like I noticed stutters or there was anything really off-putting. Now, if I'm playing this on mains, I think this is the option I would play. I would be playing 720p, and I will be playing it on higher settings. Now, if I'm playing this on battery, I'll be using the 15-watt profile, and I'll be playing it on 720p, but on low settings. So 720p is the way to go. Lock that 60 FPS. If you're playing on battery, 15 watts and 720p low. And if you're playing it on mains, then this is the option for me. I'm going to be playing it on 720p but higher settings, and pretty much all the way through it holds 60. It might dip a frame or two here or there, but generally it's been decent. I played a little bit off camera as well, and honestly this is the way to play it. Now, I've rinsed this game out. I don't know if I'll go back to it. My kind of kids want to get this game, and maybe I'll play it with them just to kind of give them a hand. Obviously I've still got my Steam Deck. My youngest kid wants a Steam Deck. I don't know if I should give it to him. He's only 7. You know, he's got a Switch and he kind of ruins that. Sometimes it's got food and stuff on there. I don't know what he does with it. I'm a little bit concerned about giving him the Steam Deck. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Should I give him the Steam Deck, or should I sell the Steam Deck and just let him wait a few years before I give him like a handheld PC? The one thing I have to say about the Steam Deck though, that this doesn't have, the Steam Deck has a great console experience. Like, you put it on, it's like you're putting on a console. This one here, it's Windows, so there's a few hoops you need to jump. And just to kind of wrap it up with, I want to chase down a Toby Kadachi. I think that's the name. I've not been playing it regularly, so I'm a bit unfamiliar with the names. I'm pretty sure this is a Toby Kadachi, my boy Toby. And again, like, yeah, I saw it go down to 56 there, but you've pretty much got a good experience on 720p and higher. But that's really it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Do let me know if you want to see more ROG Ally content, any performance checks. I don't do too many videos on this channel. I'm mainly a retro guy on my main channel, Pixel Cherry Ninja, but I do like to come here from time to time, and I wanted to test out Monster Hunter World, so I thought I'll make a video about it. And I do post random videos on here, but you know what, if this video gets the views and the channel gets the subscribers and it looks like there's growth there, then I'll be inclined to do more videos, do more performance checks. So guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, then subscribe and a like really does help. It'll definitely encourage me to do more videos in the future of performance checks and just interesting stuff with this machine in general. If you want to see retro related content with the ROG Ally, as in how to set up RetroArch, I know it's a fairly easy thing to do, but some people do have difficulty with it. I've got a video, I'll have a video for that. Not sure when it's released. Maybe it's going to be released tomorrow, same time as this. But that has a tutorial for setting up RetroArch on the ROG Ally, if that's something you want to check. And that's the Pixel Cherry Ninja channel. There, if you check my channels on here, I'm not subscribed to many, but Pixel Cherry Ninja, if you subscribe to that, you get retro-related ROG Ally videos, as well as retro and FPGA-related stuff. And over here on this channel, it's pretty much just performance checks and handheld devices. But that's it for this video, guys. I really hope if you enjoyed it. If you did, yeah, like, subscription, all that good stuff is appreciated. And yeah, enjoy Monster Hunter. It's an awesome game. This is Smack My Deck Out.